Hi, I'm Nicole Meline, and I want to introduce you to the Envision Planner. This project is really a love letter from my dreams to yours. It's about sparking and igniting vision for this next season of your life, and also this play, this dance, this practice of dancing between hustle and flow. I've always been very goal-driven. I get excited about a roadmap. I get excited about mapping out a path towards the future and dreaming wildly and big, and dreams big enough that we have to grow into them. And a lot of that I would think of as hustle, right? A kind of hustle mentality, which has its place, absolutely. But as I have journeyed spiritually, personally, I've learned that it's the swerves in the road, it's the bumps along the way, it's the misleads that lead us often to grace, that are these unexpected doors, these openings, these off paths that we might not have chosen, but in training ourselves to pay attention to them, to know when to hustle and when to flow, that's how we can live with a kind of intentionality and openness, curiosity that gives us freedom from this kind of exhausting hustle mentality. So as I have been in the personal growth world for a long time as just an athlete, an artist, I've definitely come across many kinds of goal setting systems and ways of kind of planning out and mapping out a life. But what I couldn't find is a way of mapping that makes space for grace, that makes space for flow, that makes space for the misleads and the off-roads and the back roads and the unexpected paths, the ways that we're thrown off course, and how that can actually become the most interesting and exciting part of our journey. So I started to think about what would both a seasonal system of vision casting, but also a daily system that is brief, that's not something that I'm going to spend a huge part of my day on, but that's going to help me to have a kind of intentionality and to practice the sort of vision and goal setting that I want, that kind of mix of hustle and flow. So I created the Envision Planner as, first of all, just a soulful architecture for my own vision casting. It's a 90-day planner. It is undated. You can start it at any time. And the first 25 pages of it are full of juicy, igniting questions. Categories like body, spirit, mind, community, romance, family, nourishment, economy, which is this much richer way of thinking about your finances and the energy exchange system of your life, digital engagement, work, celebrations, and adventure. And these categories open up into questions that are meant to ignite you, that are meant to get you thinking and dreaming wildly. So the first 25 pages of this planner are just a blank canvas for you to dream, for you to paint, for you to imagine new possibility for your life. And then the heart of the planner are these daily pages, and I give a description here of what each of the categories on the daily pages looks like. But the daily page not filled in is going to look like this. It's opposite a blank page. That's really important. So there's just space to spill over. There's space to just journal. But I turn the daily pages horizontal this way so that you really have space, but you have that sense of spaciousness. And filled in, it's maybe going to look something like this. But I want to introduce these categories to you before each set of 31 daily pages and journaling pages, enough to move through any month of the year. You'll have a month at a view spread. And there's these categories that ask you about your vision for this month. So categories like, what is your oath for this month? A manifesto for this month. the theme of this month. That could be feelings, senses, style that you want to cultivate. What are the creations that you want to focus on this month? How will you play this month? There's a section on play. How will you work? How will you hustle? How will you celebrate? What are important dates, parties, and what are ceremonies that you want to engage in? So thinking about how to bring the sacred into the everyday. On the daily page is essentially divided up into 3 different columns. You could literally do this in 5 minutes. This is not meant to be a big time intensive thing, but the first category is a vision. So just a simple statement of what is my vision for this day. That could be one word, that could be a few feelings that you want to cultivate and commit to. That could be just a theme for the day that you want to commit to and articulate to yourself. And then right away, gratitude. So if you think about this first section being maybe at the beginning of your day in the morning, what are you grateful for? We know that starting the day with gratitude changes our body neurologically. It literally is an act of healing and empowerment. So to start to pave your road with gratitude. The next section is, I call encounter. It's a schedule. There's places where you can enter the time of different appointments that you have during the day, but really important that it's called encounter, because these interactions that we have with each other are encounters. And what if we thought of them that way? That dentist appointment is a series of encounters with human beings and all of their richness. That phone call that you have later in the day is an encounter. That sales pitch is an encounter. That time that you are going to spend with your kids, that's maybe a pickup or a drop off or a delivering somewhere, is an encounter. And what if we brought that kind of mindfulness to it? The next section is a space for sweat and stillness. So what was your movement practice during the day, or what is your goal for some kind of movement practice, a workout, a sweat session during the day? And also, what was a time that you integrated? You took a time to be still, to meditate in whatever form that takes for you. And then this central section is called create. And it's that place for your 3 big goals of the day. What is it that you want to create? And let's think of it in those terms, right? What are we creating in this world? And then this last column, I love to do at the end of the day. And the first section in it is called altar, ALTAR. What do you want to leave on the altar before you leave this day? What is something that is disturbing, maybe unsettling, grieving you? Just an open question, something that you are not sure how it's going to work out. It's something that you're offering up. You're leaving it on the altar. You're delegating it, right? You're not going to take it to bed with you. You're not going to let it disturb your peace. Lastly is flow. So we begin the day in gratitude and we end the day in gratitude. How did your day flow? What worked? What are you grateful for? What was a gift offered to you this day? Also at the top of each page is a space for a mantra or a guiding word. Can you think about how much power and focus it could bring to each one of your days, how much richness of presence if you settled on a word that you want as a banner over that day? So many different elements to the Envision Planner to bring vision, clarity, openness, curiosity, possibility, and attentiveness to both the hustle, the dream, and all that it's asking us to become, and the flow, the graces and the gifts along the way. Because not only do you need your dreams, the world needs your dreams. Let's start building them. Let's create a map, a soulful architecture together. Also, the Envision Planner birthed In creating the Envision Planner, I started to realize that we can't envision the future until we've integrated the past, until we understand where we've come from and why. So along the way, I also created this Integrate Year in Review workbook. I call it a year in review because it's great to do at the beginning or the end of a year, but it could be done at any time, any seam of a season, any new beginning, whether that's a birthday or just a page that you want to turn at any time. So this takes you through a guided reflection process, a bunch of juicy questions to help you realize and recognize the graces and the gifts of this past season, and also the habits and the practices that you've fallen into or just kind of taken on and why you're there. So a real process of about our past as we envision our future. These are tools for us to live and create heartwardly. I would love to hear about how they ignite you to dream wildly and to create your great work in the world.